What is good, everybody? It's me, Gigas, and in today's video we're gonna talk about something that in my opinion is really a necessary to know if you want to play Gigas. It is about one of his key moves, which is his command grab. And I know this is some controversial topic because people say we need a second grab to mix the grab to make it even more lethal. It does, I think, the most damage in the entire game in the open because you can attack roll it, so it always deals a set amount of damage, and against the wall it's nothing to laugh about. So we are gonna cover a bunch of things today, as in the building mechanics, how to make this command grab a little bit easier to land, as in command wise, because it is a pretty heavy command to master, and also ways to mix up your timings and be less predictable with your command grab. So we all know that Overkill requires a pretty specific input, which is half circle back into full 1+2. And yes, that might be a little bit difficult for you to master, but shoutouts to season 3, we can also do this in Golem stance. And we do have a couple of strings that makes us enter Golem, which is 2-1 into Golem, which is +7 on hit and -4 on block. This means that on hit you cannot interrupt because you're at such advantageous position that even if they do a 10 frame, you will still beat the opponent. However, on block this is not the case. It is -4, so they can interrupt you. The second one is 4-2 down 1, and this string does not jail on counter hit or on a normal hit, so you always enter this into -2, making your grab 13 or 14 frames fast. However, the interesting part on 4-2 down 1 is if you hit the last part as a normal hit, you can see +13, and a very interesting animation on Hayachi. What makes this so interesting is normally you can crouch under a grab, but because this forces crouch and it is so advantageous on hit, they cannot actually crouch under your grab attempt. So in my opinion, it's always worth going for 4-2 down 1 on hit, go into the Golem stance and do the grab, because they cannot crouch or do something about it. If they press a button, it will frame trap them, you will hit them. If they do something full crouch, they're too late, you will still hit them. And now we enter true frame trap situations like back 1+2 on block or even on hit. On block it's +6, so that means if they press a button, again same rule applies there, they will get interrupted by the grab because as it's +6, it's 11 frames fast. And on hit it's even +7, it also forces crouch, so they cannot interrupt this. Down for full 1+2 is one of the most interesting one because on counter hit everything jails, and you can also enter the stance for a healthy +7, kind of similar to back 1+2 on normal hit. The fun thing on down for full 1+2 is on block it allows you for +3. So on block this is a true frame trap going for the grab. As you can see, starter frame was 11 frames. You can subtract 3 from there, so that is faster than a jab, which is 10 frames. Keep in mind they can high crush, however it's not like 4-2 down 1 that they cannot high crush. They can still high crush, down jab, stuff like that. And of course they can always break all these grab attempts. And now we're gonna cover something which is in my opinion the most important section of this video, and that is talking about the command grab input in general, which is a half circle back into full 1+2. On paper, people will think that you have to do everything in quick motion. So as you can see, I do that, I try to do that, and that most of the times is kind of finicky because I do skip a couple of inputs if I do it really fast. Okay, don't mind me doing it right now, I did this a bunch. But you know what I mean, like there, I skipped a couple of arrows. A couple of inputs got skipped because I tried to do it too fast. But here's the thing I would love to explain. You don't actually have to do everything in quick succession. This is a very big misconception on Gigas' command grab. What I want to explain is, if you can train yourself to do half circles, you know, go ahead, try to do half circles. I do this on a D-pad, this is also possible on an arcade stick. Try to do half circles, not too fast, you don't even have to do too fast. Do this a couple of times until you see and manage to do this pretty clean. If you can do this, if you manage to do half circle backs, like back to back, this is a lot of back, you are already at 90% of doing the grab, because now the interesting part happened. I'm gonna show you once right now And maybe you didn't follow what happened there. But as you can see again, I do half circle back and I have 1 full second to press 4 1+2 and it still counts. Just like that. You don't have to do 4 1+2 immediately the frame after doing the half circle back. But this also allows for very interesting buffer times. And if you don't know what buffering means, don't worry, we're going to talk about it and jump into that right now. So one of my favorite things to do as an example and to train the timing is to put the enemy on guard all and do a jab. So most of the time people will do this like a jab, right? You would just press 1, that makes a lot of sense, jabbing is 1. But I try to give myself a different habit of doing jabs. And instead of doing just a jab, I do a jab in 2.5 circle. Just like this. Try to practice this, because every time you do this, you have a grab ready to go after your jab being done. Just like this. Why is this so effective? First of all, you will train your timing doing a half circle back mid animation, and 1 is one of the fastest animations, so if you can do it here, you can do it on different moves. But in reality, in like a real match, this is a very strong thing to do, because as you can see, a jab gives you +1, and maybe you can remember your command grab is 11 frames. That actually mimicates that in 1 frame on block, making your command grab 10 frames fast. So in other words, as fast as a jab, which is really nice to see. So if you do jab into command grab and Hayachi does down for 1, that will not work for Hayachi. So with that said, we can also move to other moves, buffering in different moves, being very lethal on block. So a good example, and this is a very old school one since season 1, you have 4-4-4-2, the most damaging string that can actually land on counter hit. Or if they try to interrupt the second hit, they will also get hit. The first thing you have to do is to check first if they do something. And here starts like a rock, paper, scissors situation. If they interrupt or if they steal back momentum immediately after doing 1-4-4-4 on block, then you can already say to yourself, okay, the next time they will do this, I can always try to go for the second option, which is completing the string. And what will happen is you will launch them. Just like that. This string is truly not interruptible by a 10 frame, 9 frame. This is not interruptible. Now, if the enemy knows that they have to respect 4-4-4 on block, you can start mixing up with your command grab. And what I mentioned before, you can do 4-4-4 into half circle back mid animation and do 4 1+2 when the animation is done. That opens up a different way to start the offense with your command grab. And of course they can still break this because you do have 1 grab, but you can also do another one into a grab to start messing with their timings. This specific strategy we also call conditioning in fighting game terms. Good conditioning methods or good conditioning tools with Gigas is, as mentioned before, 4-4-4-2, down 4-2-1, while standing 2, down forward 4, and forward 2. They all have one thing in common, which is they have a very strong, potent follow-up. It's either a launcher or very good frame advantage on hit, or it knocks down. Keep in mind, by the way, bonus, it never hurts to do your grab while being against the wall. Why? Because this is always a side switch if they break. So if they break, you will get a side swap, which is in your favor, and if they don't, you will push them against or away from the wall, and you will get amazing damage. And that's pretty much it for now today, guys. It is really all about trying to have a different timing, a different situation, and not to be too predictable with your grabs, As other words, or in other words, if you do down for 4-1+2, you can always go for the grab, but if you do this too repetitively, people will start breaking it and your offense will be a bit crippled. But for you as a Gigas main, it is all about starting other ways to initiate your grab situations, like up for 3 on hit as an example, or back 1+2, good frame trap move. Go from there and try to mess around with your command grab timings and don't be too predictable with the grab. It will get broken if you are way too repetitive with the grab, or you do it all the time in the same sequences, like you do 4-4-4 into grab and you do nothing else with it. You can always go for 4-4-2 into a low as an example. You can go for 4-4-4-2 or 4-4-4 into a frame trap, 4-4-4 into back 2. Don't always go for the grab. That will get broken if you are being too repetitive. So I hope that helped a little bit with this command grab section. Again, for me, I can see why people would love a different grab to mix it up, but not everybody is a robot and breaks all grabs unless you're using macros, but that's a different thing. And for me, even against Tekken God Primes, Tekken Gods, Tekken whatever, they still have a hard time breaking grabs all the time, and at clutch moments, it really helps hitting those grabs. That will be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comment section. I will try my best to answer it as fast as possible, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.